I spent 5 years and over $150,000 learning these 5 secret trading psychology rules from Dr. Jonathan Katz, a clinical psychologist that focuses his work on top hedge funds, trading firms, and traders. Oh, and he's not taking new clients, so you can't learn these rules anywhere else. Following these trading psychology rules took me from almost quitting to making over $100 million in profit. So if you want to make money trading and not lose it all, stay until the end. I'm Lance Breitstein, one of Wall Street's top traders with over $100 million in verified profits, Wired Magazine's stock trading expert, market wizard, and mentor to 7- and 8-figure P&L per year traders. Lesson 1 is about managing your emotions while trading, particularly rage trading or being on tilt. Once you're angry and upset, it's often already too late to calm yourself back down. Jonathan uses the analogy of a marathon runner only drinking water once they're dehydrated. The damage is already done and you can't recover. There used to be a trader I knew who we nicknamed Wreck-It Ralph. It would start with the mumbling. A few minutes later, it would escalate to the desk pound. Then you knew it was coming. Not long after that, you'd get the keyboard slam and traders around him would be showered by keys. The best way to prevent being in a state of tilt or rage like that when trading is to take proactive and preventative steps before you reach level 10 keyboard slams. Reflect on what your triggers tend to be. Find ways to remove those triggers from your environment and identify the first signs of when you start to lose control. A lot of that requires training your introspection and self-awareness abilities. If needed, step away from the desk and get outside. But Jonathan cautions, no returning back to your seat if you haven't resolved your mental state, or else you'll be right back to where you started. How have I applied this rule? First, I become aware of my tells. If I ever start cursing to myself, or if I ever start muttering, "Who the fuck is on the other side of this trade?" those are signs I'm starting to lose my cool. Normally, I'd keep on trading and keep fighting until I really lose it, and the mistake then cost me big P&L. I share the story of how I lost over $2 million in one trade if you want to learn from my mistakes. Hint, it might have something to do with my emotions. This video is linked in the description. Now, when I notice those tells or notice my internal dialogue is getting frustrated, that's when I make sure I step away from the screen and get outside before it escalates beyond the point of no return. I really can't stress how big of a mental shift occurs once you see sunlight and breathe some fresh air away from the screens. Most traders undervalue lesson 2, but this rule has had the biggest impact on my performance. Trading performance is holistic. You can't get in a huge fight with your spouse or get in a traffic accident before work, then think you're gonna show up to work and be able to trade as if nothing happened. Now, before you roll your eyes and click out of the video, hear me out. A calm, clear-headed mental state outside of work leads to calm, clear-headed decisions at work. That entails getting good sleep, eating well, exercise, and making sure you handle interpersonal conflict in an adaptive way so you can be focused and ready. Most beginner traders don't realize it, but a lot of the times when they emotionally snowball and lose discipline, the issue started way further back than their trade entry. For some, it started with poor sleep. For others, it started by getting into the office late or an issue at home. Life throws all kinds of curveballs, but if you're optimizing your health and sleep, you'll make better decisions. Ultimately, a trader's greatest asset is the ability to make good decisions at the right time. If you're not prioritizing sleep and still expecting to outperform, do yourself a favor and watch my latest video about why sleep was the single biggest factor that had the largest impact on my trading. So how do I apply this rule? I am maniacal about my routine and doing a pre-market temp check as part of my daily report card, which I also talk about in this video. Before the market opens, I want to know how dialed in I am. If I'm already emotionally off center, tired, or unprepared, I want to be risking far less than I would otherwise. Trading psychology rule number 3. The more you can focus on your own game and improving your own trading, the better off you'll be. Trading at Trillium was incredibly competitive. You were shoulder to shoulder with over 100 other traders, fighting for the best prints, seeing everyone's scoreboard each and every day. If someone had a big win, you'd hear about it. If someone took a big loss, you'd know about that too. And in my case, I was fighting tooth and nail to be at the top of the annual top 10 rankings. That level of competition had a lot of benefits, but it also had one big drawback. back. My biggest slumps have always come when I felt I was underperforming those around me on the trading floor. That comparison game crushed me until my work with Dr. Katz helped me break the cycle. And honestly, it's probably saved me millions of dollars. Here's why this matters. Traders who are underperforming are emotionally vulnerable. In those moments, instead of putting their energy into improving, they often look outward. They compare themselves to others. They seek affirmation. That's human. We are competitive, always looking to see where we stack up in the hierarchy. And trading is especially dangerous because the scorecard feels so black and white. Today, it's even worse with social media. Traders scroll through their highlight reels seeing only cherry-picked wins and polished narratives. Jonathan Katz views most of this as toxic, a major distraction from the real work needed for success. And he's right. Instead of diagnosing our mistakes and doing the hard work to improve, we get sucked into a loop that makes us feel worse. That emotional spiral is the exact negative feedback loop I talked about back in Rule 1. The antidote? Focusing on the process. Outcomes are out of our control, but the effort isn't. Our edge comes from pouring energy into things we can control. So how do I manage social media and the comparison trap? I mute P&L numbers, I filter out the noise, I only consume content that's value add. If another trader has rules I can learn from, I'll reflect deeply on those, but I couldn't care less about their P&L or highlight reel. I design my social feeds and conversations so I'm never tempted to measure myself against them. Rule 4. Our relationship with money drives a lot of who we are as a trader. No trader goes into trading with the same background, the same life experiences, or the same upbringing. As a result, not everyone has the same aspirations, and not everyone has the same relationship with money. Some traders will naturally be more conservative. They'll maximize consistency as opposed to maximizing P&L. They'll live frugally, they'll wire out their profits. Other traders will aim for the stars, live huge and spend huge. Neither of them is wrong. A lot of our trading style is about being honest with ourselves, about our goals and aspirations, and making sure that our trading style reflects our desires rather than matching someone else's. For me, this rule meant I needed to be intentional with what I did with my earnings. Growing up, my family always stressed about money. As a result, now as an adult, all I care about is freedom from having to worry about money. No amount of upside is worth the risk of me not having full control of my schedule and the ability to live free without a boss or the need to work. That meant safely investing a nest egg outside of the market, being diversified across assets, across accounts, and building real wealth by making my money work for me in a tax-efficient, fee-efficient manner that compounds. Rule number 5. The final rule I'll share here from Jonathan is that trading is just one part of who we are. It is okay to let it consume us at times. It is okay to be obsessed and work very hard. But to sustain a career and to find sustainable happiness, you need to have a broader identity that involves relationships, friendships, and other hobbies. Trading is a job that will always have a lot of ups and downs. No matter how good you get, it never stops being a roller coaster. It is during the challenging periods that those who persevere are the ones that find support from their friends, from their partners, from family. It is also far easier to sustain tough times when you can notch wins in other areas of your life. That might be a personal best at the gym, or it might be helping someone through volunteer work. When we are surrounded by community and hobbies that we care about and that also care about us, we become far more resilient to withstand the ups and downs that make up the roller coaster ride that is a career in trading. I apply this rule by making sure I have a close friend group, that my friends feel valued and supported by me. I've also found meaning and fulfillment from my nonprofit work, and I've also found community by sharing my trading knowledge online with you all. Those extracurricular activities help so that your self-worth and sense of purpose isn't just tied to trading. If you take the time to incorporate these 5 rules from Dr. Jonathan Katz, I'm confident it can have a profound impact on your trading. Thank you for watching, and if you found value from what Jonathan Katz has to teach us, check out my incredible interview with him here.